Yo guys, what is going on? It is Invin here, and today what I am bringing to you guys is a video on my top beginners tips for Lost Ark for the EU/NA/Western launch that we have just had the head start for yesterday. Now, of course, you've got the official free-to-play launch upcoming on the 11th, and for those of us that are on the head start, this should also prove beneficial for us now, and of course anybody that picks up the game on the 11th. Now, whether you're a veteran player or you are someone that is picking the game up for the first time, these tips should have something for everybody, whether it serves as a reminder or something brand new. And it's not going to be a complete beginner's guide, it's actually just going to be like nifty little things that you can do and need to remember within the game that I have picked up personally from playing through the game so far that I thought could come in handy for you guys. But of course, I am not going to be able to cover everything here, so if you've got a really good beginner's tip that I don't cover in today's video that you think would help out the community, then do drop it in the comments down below, as that would be much appreciated. And if you haven't already done so, make sure that before today's video fully kicks in, you go down below and press a subscribe with the notification bell on. Only about 20% of the people that watch my videos are actually subscribed, so if you're one of the 80% that isn't, and you could help me out today by subscribing to the channel, that would be much appreciated. And without further ado, let's jump into this one. The first thing here is by alt left clicking on the map, you can teleport to a tripod. So for those of you that are newer to the game, when you press tab, you actually bring up a map in the middle of your screen, and the tripods are the teleport system that you can see here located by this triangle, and it's actually an orange emblem when you have it activated, and when you don't have it activated, like this one down here, it is grayed out and you can hover over it, but it tells you not available. When it is available, it will say the cost of the teleport. Now, if you actually realize on this map and you do this for yourself, you will see that if you press alt and you also press left click, it tells you that you can teleport there. But this isn't obvious unless you do this, and some players like myself probably have this up whilst you're moving around, pressing your abilities, and might not have taken the time to do that. Now, this can also be done from anywhere in the world, like I could do that from here right now and click OK and go ahead and do that. You don't actually have to be at another tripod, and that can save you an awful lot of time, especially when you're out and about in the world, and you can go ahead and just teleport back to the area where the quest was given from once you've completed that quest, so long as, of course, that teleport back isn't interrupted, then you'll be able to go back there from any location. Now, as a side note with this point as well, you can hold down the middle mouse button and move this map around as freely as you would like to. So if you don't want it dead center, if you'd rather have it top left, bottom right, or, you know, lower center, higher center, whatever you want to do, you can move this map by holding down the middle mouse button or the scroll wheel mouse button down and just dragging it to where you would like to place the map. Now, the next thing here is going to be actually remembering to claim your roster rewards. If you go onto here and go onto your roster information, so bottom right roster and then roster information, or the hotkey by default is O, you'll be able to go in here and you'll be able to see the roster, basically levels that you've done so far, and every time that you get a level, you will need to click claim rewards, as these are not given to you automatically. Now, although these are not game changing on their own, when they do stack up together, as you progress through these levels, you do get quite a lot of bonuses, and they are active across every single character you create on this account. That means that when you activate these, all of your subsequent characters will have that buff as well. And as you can see around this sort of section on the right side of the screen here, it's actually given me a very decent amount of buffs, so it's certainly worth doing. And they don't give you them passively just by acquiring the levels. You actually do have to click claim reward in order for these to be active, so make sure you do that as soon as possible so that it gets you through the game and the story and whatever else you're doing a lot easier. Now, when you are in game, some of the merchants will have an opportunity for you to buy different things at different points, but what you can also do is right-click any inventory items that you have that you want to sell, and it will bring up the sell screen, or you can alternatively click on the sell tab on the left-hand side here, and you can right-click on the items you wish to transfer to the sell inventory. It will tell you the individual prices and, of course, the total price of the sale when you sell it all. So you click the middle button here, which is sell, to complete that transaction. You can also empty cart if you've incorrectly wanted to sell them. And also what you can do with that is buy back anything that you've sold in recently in the last 12 items. If you want to do so, you can buy that back if you sold something by mistake. What you will also notice on this sell tab is that you do have a sell junk button here, and you can press this if you're not sure what to sell. That will get rid of any excess items that you have in your inventory that you don't really need, that are literally just there to be sold as junk items for silver. And of course, then like I just did there, I would recommend saving up any spare gear when you upgrade, especially when you're going through the leveling process rather than endgame, just to sell and get rid of for a little bit of extra silver, as it all all does add up. Now what you will notice as well in the top left hand corner, right where I'm wiggling my cursor right now, that is my active counter for my Feathers of Resurrection. Now with that, why it's important? Well, because if we go into the inventory, you will see I don't have any here, and to get that number up, which is your usable amount, you actually have to claim them in here. You have to right click them or alt right click if you want to do all of them at once, which I would highly recommend. As a side note, if you do want to claim multiple, as you can see, if you alt and then right click, it will ask you how many you want to use, so you can use multiple or some multiples of the many that you have. So I could do 2 out of 3 here, for example, if you want to do that for big stacks, and Feathers of Resurrection are one of such items where this is great. Definitely claim them, because you can't use them when you die. If they're sat in your inventory, you do need to actually have used them to become a usable resurrection item. Now, when you level up in Lost Ark, you get access to skill points for your character, and as you can see, these each have a different tier, which become available once you put a certain amount of points into these. You will see the required amount of skill points to get to the next level with this, and currently the skill level that you have. And alongside here, you will see that after your first 4 points in a skill, you get access to your tier 1 upgrade. After 20 points, you get access to your tier 2, and after 48 points of getting the skill to level 10, you will unlock access to the 3rd tier of upgrades. Now, this isn't as daunting as it seems, because when you go through these, you get to select basically a different type of upgrade each tier that you get, and each of them do different things. So I am playing the Sorceress. So for example, on my Blaze spell here, I can either do minus MP cost, I can do on hit, damage to foes from all party members is plus 6% for 8 seconds, or I could do on hit, burns foes, inflicting 61 damage every 1 second for 5 seconds. Now, as you can see, I currently have selected the damage amplification one. If I wanted to change this, I can simply click onto another one and click save, and now I have mind enhancement on instead. And if I want to switch back, you simply do that. It is very easy to do, and it's a very forgiving system. So if you want to try out different things, or you want to change something because you think you've made a mistake afterwards, you can absolutely do that, and that is the same for any of the tiers that you want to do, even up to the 3rd tier there, which is really, really good. Now, another thing that you can also do is when you put the skills into them with the plus and minus buttons next to each of the corresponding tier tablets. Say I've got 6 levels worth of points in this skill here combo, and I want some of those points back to maybe put into a different skill. Right, what you can do is press the minus button, and that will give you back the corresponding amount of points that you've put in per level. Now, after you get the first 4 points in, it is actually 4 skill points per level, as you will see, 8 out of 20 and then 12 out of 20. So if I do a minus, I actually get 4 points back, which means I could get one of these level 1 skills up to the 1st tier if I wanted to do that. But right now I'm stacking for those. Equally, I could do this with my highest level 1 so that I can go ahead and do that. Bear in mind, if you do lose a tier by minusing points out, you will have to then go ahead and re-click into that to reassign that tier's perk that you want to get as well. But it's a very simple, very forgiving system, so you can try out all different combinations and find out what works for you the best. Now, in Lost Ark, whether you actually have a pet cat like you get from the Founders Packs here, or you do one of the first guide quests in the game, which gets you access to a rabbit, going into your guides, settings down the bottom here, and going on to the pets, which is by default bound to Alt plus P, you can go ahead and bring up the menu to show you all of your available pets. Now, pets in Lost Ark do have pet effects. For example, the bunny and the cat both give me a plus 5% to maximum HP and a plus crit percent by 10% chance. They also give you auto loot items by basic stats, which is a really useful thing to have. So if you don't have the pet summoned yet, make sure you do that. And of course, you can rename these to be anything you like. You can also have a look here at the functions that they have available. But one really important thing that a lot of newer players overlook is the ability to actually change a pet's skills absolutely free of charge. So what you can do is go up to any of the pet management NPCs in the village, symbolized on the map by the little dog head on the map. You see, if I'm just moved to the right here on the minimap in the top right there, just down towards the left, you can see the little dog's head. If you go over towards that and interact with the NPC, select the pet that you would like to look at, and you can see what their current skills are. Now, if you go into the retrain tab just here, you can click on either of these skills, and it will show you the possible other ones that you could have on this pet. So you could change it for physical defense, magical defense, physical damage reduction, or magical damage reduction. And it also gives you the percentage and values for each of these as well. And it would be as simple as clicking onto it and clicking onto a new skill and click change. It's says, once retrained, your pets can be retrained again without any conditions. So essentially, you can do this as much and as often as you would like to be able to get your pet to benefit you the best for the situation you're in, whether you're taking damage from physical sources a lot, magical sources, or both, or you would rather have the max HP and the crit on there. It's entirely up to you, but you can change things out as well as freely as you would like to with your pets, which is a really cool feature of Lost Ark. Now, by now, anyone that's played the game will probably have done some stuff with their adventurous tome, and if you're anything like me, this excites me quite a lot because I want to try and get as much completion as I can with all of these different things. Now, all of these are different collectibles, different activities you can do, but in each section of this, you will see the different monsters. Now, as you can see, some of these on my screen are ticked, and some of them are not. When you are going around the world in the specific zone of the adventurous tome that you're looking at, for example, here I'm looking at Ramis, when you are around the world, you will be able to see monsters with a little orange or gold emblem above their head, and when they come running up to you, some people think it's elite mobs, some people think it's mini bosses. It's actually just monsters that are required to kill for your adventurous tome to get more percentage completion towards your overall percentage. As you can see, mine is 43.8%. If I was to go back to Ramis and kill some of these mobs that are what I need to get for the tome, this would increase the overall percentage completion that I have, and again allow you to get closer to getting that 100% for each area. So any kind of collectible or completionist type players out there that want to get all of this sort of stuff done, like myself, that could be good to know. And for any of you that see those mobs as you're going along, definitely pick up the kills on them, as it does get you closer and closer to these really cool rewards that you get from just playing and exploring in the game. Now, I'll throw a screenshot on screen for you guys now, but as you can see underneath the minimap, there can be an ongoing quest button which pops up, and this one is where you can complete quests when this button pops up without actually having to go back to the NPC that gave the quest to you. This can be really useful when you're doing guide quests and world quests out and about, and they can often just proc up. You can press the button and complete it and move on to the next area without having to run back. This can be really useful because a lot of players don't see this for a while. I actually struggled with this the first couple of times it was there. I forgot about it, went, oh yeah, I've got to press that button, and then I was able to complete the quest. Makes it a lot easier if you're looking out for it, so every time that pops up, make sure you're pressing it and make sure you're completing the quest from there, because it is a lot easier and will probably save you a decent amount of time. And finally here, just a quick UI tip with the cursor. As you can see, it's just on the left of my character right now. Your default one is the red. If you want to change this on the fly for different environments or different areas or whatever's going on ability wise, then you can hold down the control and scroll your mouse wheel, and this will change the cursor's color. And obviously, other than the default one, they're all one block color, and then the default one is the red one with almost another little red diamond in the middle. The rest of them, you get blue, you get gold, you get pink, and you get green, and also a black one. So you can change these depending on what you would like to choose for the environment if you're finding it particularly difficult to find your cursor. I really like the pink one. This stands out pretty good, as well as the gold, the blue, and the green are all pretty good. The black and the red default can sometimes get a little bit lost, but the red one's been fine for me up to now. It's just different preferences on what you might think, so I thought it's a handy tip to throw in at the end. So that is going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this content and found it useful. Like I said at the beginning of today's video, if you have got any tips that I didn't include in today's video that you think would be useful for new players to Lost Ark, just some beginners tips or things that can be nifty little things you can do in the game that could help players out, then do drop those in the comments down below as well, as that would be much appreciated. If you are new to the channel, make sure that you are dropping a subscribe down below with the notification bell on so that you don't miss out on any uploads. And other than that is going to be it, so make sure you drop in a like if you found this video useful and informative, and I will catch you again tomorrow with a brand new upload. Thank you for your time, thank you for watching, and peace.